It's been a while, people, but we're back. And we're back to talk about your boy Black Bond once again being right. And what am I right about? I am right about Hideo Kojima being the most overrated developer in gaming, if you want to refer to him as being a developer. So, let's look at Exhibit A. Exhibit A. March 19th, 2014. I upload a video. Kojima, Metal Gear, and Sony developers equal overrated. 11,000 views, 400 likes, and 650 people who have no common sense that just want to mash the dislike button over their hurt feelings. And we could scroll down and look through all the crazed and lunatic comments that you people have wrote me, but we really don't have time for that. Let's move on. 5 months ago, May 30th, 2019, Death Stranding looks like absolute trash. Hideo Kojima still overrated. And it looks like people came back because it got about the same amount of views and 11,000 views with about the same amount of dislikes and about 650 plus. This case, 682. And like I said before, I was completely right about this game. It looks boring. It is boring. It looks empty. It is empty. It's repetitive. It's tedious. It has crap gameplay. None of these reviews even talk about how good the gameplay is. They always talk about how it's repetitive, tedious, and boring in regards to gameplay. Once again, Kojima creates a game for you pseudo-intellectuals so you can feel good about yourselves because you don't have any intelligence in the real world, so you might as well have some overly complex fictional entity to help you make yourself feel good about yourself. Anybody who criticizes Sony and their games for being too cinematic or overly cinematic but wants to play this game but is a big fan of Hideo Kojima games, well, you are exposed. That means you, Alex. I mean, this is the exact opposite direction that gaming needs to go. Gaming, above all else, needs to be appreciated for gaming and gameplay. Things like sound and story, those are all tertiary. Those are all, at best, secondary. A game is a game, and you play a game. And honestly, if you want to experience this, you can probably fulfill the entire experience of this game by watching somebody play the game through its cutscenes, or you could just wait for the novel version to come out. They're actually converting the story of this game into a novel, into a book that you can read. That's right, people. You don't even have to play this game to experience it. But here's what I want to go over real quick. We have a lot of reviews to go over because the amount of bias and stupidity and contradictories and hypocrisy of all this crap going on with this game is just completely dumbfounded. We talked about this on Weapon Wheel today on the Weapon Wheel podcast. Go over, check it out, subscribe, hit up the Patreon, show that support if that's something you enjoy. If you enjoy honest, truthful, reliable content that doesn't contradict itself. If you do like dishonest, contradicting, and contradictory content, then maybe you might want to read a Death Stranding review. Let's get into this, people. Let's get into some of these reviews. Good God, great Cucamonga. Let me zoom in real quick so you can just see the lunacy in some of these reviews. Like, I really could not believe it. Atomics. Death Stranding is the birth of a new genre. A masterpiece that can only be generated by the mind-like, the one that Hideo Kojima has. And here I'm thinking that a walking simulator is not a new genre. I was hooked from the first time I saw the title screen until the credits rolled 72 hours later. 72 hours, people. It offers new ideas on pushing the medium forward and shows that games don't always typically have to be fun. Its gameplay will be too slow for many. I'm sorry. Games don't typically have to be fun? Its gameplay will be too slow for many. Rating of 100. Are you guys seeing... Are you seeing the problems I'm having right now? How can you rate that 100? Digitally downloaded, Death Stranding does belong in an art gallery more than it does belong on consoles next to more traditional games. Huh? So, the game belongs more in an art gallery than it does sitting on a console next to traditional games, and they rate this game 100. EGM. Death Stranding makes me respect Hideo Kojima for convincing Sony to invest millions into a game that's about a man delivering packages to holograms. I swear to you, this is like some sick joke. Investing millions into a game about a man delivering packages. Death Stranding is nothing like... I'm sorry. Death Stranding is like nothing I have ever played. Beautiful, heart-racing, heartbreaking, frustrating, epic, stunning, and utterly nuts. I laughed, I cried, I cursed, and I went to the toilet an awful lot. Death Stranding isn't just my game of the year, it's a contender for game of the generation too. Oh my god, what kind of drugs are these people on? Death Stranding is dizzying, unshakable in its belief it is doing something worthwhile, and it's one of the most important games of this decade. What these people are on needs to be banned. Like, where is the editor-in-chief, like, proofreading and like, hey, you said this game wasn't fun, but you gave it 100. Are you okay? Do we need to drug test you? Are you capable mentally of doing the job of a reviewer? Because I don't think they are. Game Revolution. If there's one game you should play this year, it's Death Stranding. It's a system seller, and I love it. Lifestyle of PlayStation. Death Stranding is not a fun game. You'll be bored at times and downright frustrated at others. And yet PlayStation Lifestyle gave this game, which they called not fun, boring, and downright frustrating, a 95. A 95. Hideo Kojima has fully weaponized the walking simulator, writing a love letter to the delivery service workers of our shipping and handling world. Oh my god. People are literally giving near perfect scores to a UPS delivery simulator. Good god. What is the world coming to? The core gameplay seems contradictory at first, but once it clicks, the concept of infinite satisfaction. Death Stranding is a new masterpiece from Hideo Kojima. You need to accept its slow and repetitive gameplay to appreciate the plot and the marvelous setting. Since when does a review tell me that I need to accept the shortcomings of a game? And then they have the nerve to give it a 92. In the end, it may not be what we do in Death Stranding so much as the ideas that underlie the experience that makes it so engaging and make us so willing to overlook the elements that don't work. 90. 90. Make us so willing to overlook the elements that don't work. It is not what we do in Death Stranding so much as the ideas. 90. You can't make this crackhead stuff up, people. You can't. Let's get some more reviews going. Death Stranding falls short in key areas. With a long and lethargic pacing, players will turn away, and then its lack of difficulty will surely seal the deal to leave this adventure for later. 85. So it comes short in key areas. It has a lethargic pacing. It turns players away. It has a lack of difficulty, but an 85. Some people will hail it as a technical and narrative masterpiece that pushes the medium forward. Others will simply be bored to tears by the slow, repetitive gameplay. 70. Slow, repetitive gameplay. Bored to tears. 70. The real issue is that Death Stranding's gameplay really is as simple as it appears to be, and the elements around it, the story, the combat, and lackluster mission objectives. 70. This game should be scoring way lower. The people reviewing at the top and the bottom, they're both saying the same damn thing. It may also be his most tedious, exhausting structure and poor pacing. So a game that is insanely tedious, has poor, exhausting structure and pacing, gets a 70. Frequently dull gameplay experience. Death Stranding is peak Hideo Kojima. If Death Stranding wasn't so padded out, it could have been something special. A repetitive letdown that's far more enjoyable to watch than play. So, with all these reviews I'm seeing and reading, the game is boring, the game is repetitive, the game is tedious, the game is dull, the game lacks gameplay, the game lacks level design, the game has a narrative, and the game has graphics. And yet the people rating at the 100 high mark are saying the same thing as the people in the 70 in the low mark. Y'all people, fanboys and reviewers, need to get off this man's nuts right now. You need to remove your face from this man's ass. He is overrated, overpraised, overglorified, and again I said, you play as a pregnant male carrying a baby, delivering UPS packages across an empty, non-populated environment while people in yellow hazmat suits chase you around with cattle prods. But that's fun. That's entertaining. That's exciting. Which is crazy because the people in this review literally said that it's boring, that it's not fun, that it's tedious and repetitive, and they still gave it 100 or a 90 or an 80 or even a 70. This game right here is a cancer to video games. It is a plague and a blight to video games. This represents everything that a video game should not be, and it represents everything that a highly acclaimed and critically acclaimed and a highly regarded video game should not be. It is downright dangerous if a game like this will sell and score and receive high critical accolades, because then we'll be having developers make more games like this and say, hey, forget things like level design, gameplay, control response, things that actually matter when it comes to playing a game. It will be, how quirky can we make it? How pseudo-intellectual can we make it? How great can the graphics can we design? How much voice acting can we do without actually ever having to do anything that actually makes a game great? I told you this 5 years ago about this man. And I told you this 5 months ago about this game. This game is overrated trash. It is nothing but a game for pseudo intellectuals that have no intelligence for real world application. This is your whole little sandbox fictional outlet to pretend to the rest of the world that you actually have a brain and can think and have intelligence. But don't worry, people in the real can see right through you and your your C movie idol in Hideo Kojima, who is nothing but a hack, and I'm glad Konami got rid of him. And I've never said this before, but I'll probably only say it once. I hope this game flops, and I hope his studio goes out of business, because a game like this should never succeed, because a game like this is built on merits that are not applicable in video game design.